Today, we're really getting into something critical: water conservation in our landscapes.
Absolutely. It's becoming so important, isn't it, with water scarcity and, well, changing weather.
Exactly. So, the goal for you today is to pull out the best, most practical ideas from the sources you sent over. How can your yard, thrive with less water, save the planet, save some money?
And what's great is how these ideas all connect. It's not just one trick. It's about the whole system working together. Makes the landscape really resilient.
That's a perfect way to put it. Okay, first big concept: xeriscaping. People hear that and maybe think, rocks and cactus, but it's more than that, right?
Oh, much more. Yeah, it's really about smart planting. Swapping out those thirsty lawns or exotic plants for things that actually belong in your region, things happy with just the local rainfall.
Okay, native plants. Makes sense.
And a key technique is using hydrozones. Basically, you group plants that need similar amounts of water together.
Ah, so you're not overwatering some just to keep others alive?
Precisely. It lets you irrigate really efficiently. No waste. And then there's mulch things like shredded bark or gravel. Super important.
Right, for weeds.
For weeds, yes, but also amazing for stopping water evaporating from the soil. Some sources said it can cut evaporation by like 70%.
70%. Wow, just from mulch. That precision you mentioned with the hydrozones really shows how every drop counts.
It really does.
So speaking of optimizing, what about technology? Are there, smart gadgets to help?
Oh, yeah, definitely. This is where things get really interesting. These modern smart irrigation controllers, they're game changers.
How do they work? Are they complicated?
Not really to use. They connect up to local weather stations, or sometimes they have sensors right there in your soil.
Wow.
They don't just run on a timer like old systems.
And they know if it's raining.
Exactly. They measure soil moisture, figure out evapotranspiration, that's water loss from the soil and plants, and adjust automatically. It rains. They pause. Soil's dry. They water just enough.
That sounds incredibly efficient.
It is. One study we looked at in Arizona, they put smart irrigation in about a third of their public spaces. Cut landscape water use by 60%.
Yeah.
Way more than they expected.
60% reduction in drinking water used on lawns. It's huge. But what about just catching the rain that falls anyway? Is rainwater harvesting practical for most people?
Immensely practical.
Yeah.
And it gives you free, pure water. Just collect the runoff from your roof in rain barrels or maybe bigger tanks, cisterns.
Free water sounds good.
And it's perfect for gardens, no chlorine or anything. You can get simple kits to divert the water from your downspouts and maybe add a screen or a first flush diverter to keep out leaves and the initial gunk.
Okay, so that seems pretty straightforward. Easy win.
Definitely. You can capture thousands of gallons off a typical roof in a year. Really cuts down on needing tap water for the garden.
Okay, thinking bigger picture now, beyond plants, what about surfaces?
Yeah.
Driveways, patios, usually just concrete, right?
Right, and that traditional concrete, it's impervious. Water just runs off, carries pollutants, can cause flooding. But there are alternatives.
Like what?
Permeable pavements. Things like interlocking pavers with sand or gravel in the joints, or even porous asphalt.
Porous asphalt, huh?
Yeah. The whole point is they let rainwater soak through right back into the ground. It helps recharge the local groundwater, reduces runoff. It's a subtle shift, but really helps the whole water cycle in your area.
So you're not just saving water, you're helping put it back where it belongs. I like that. Now, we touched on mulch earlier, but let's circle back to soil health itself. Why is that so fundamental?
It's everything, really. It's the foundation. Organic mulches, like wood chips or compost, they do more than just cover the soil. As they break down, they feed the soil, improve its structure.
Make it better at soaking up water.
Exactly. Better infiltration, better water holding capacity. It becomes like a sponge. And if you connect that to things like cover crops or no-till gardening, basically, not digging it up all the time, you build these amazing drought-resilient soils.
Right, soils that hold on to water longer.
Meaning you need to add less water later. It's about building a healthy living system underground.
A living system. Love that framing. Okay, one last quick thing, hardscaping. You mentioned patios, paths. How do they fit in efficiency-wise?
Well, it's pretty simple logic, actually.
Yeah.
Things like a flagstone patio or gravel paths, they just take up space where you might have otherwise put plants that need water.
Ah, okay. Less planted area equals less watering needed overall.
Exactly. You get functional, nice-looking spaces, and you automatically lower the landscape's thirst. It all adds up.
So, putting it all together, Rethinking plants with xeriscaping, using smart tech, catching rain, permeable surfaces, building healthy soil, strategic hardscaping. It's
Yeah,
a really powerful combination.
it really is.
You get a beautiful yard that's sustainable, saves you money long term, and is just, well, better for the environment.
Definitely. And it makes you think. If more people adopted these kinds of water-wise practices, considering how they all link together, what kind of impact could that have, on whole community water supplies, local streams and rivers, especially as our climate keeps changing?
That's a powerful thought to leave folks with. A shift that could really reshape our neighborhoods for the better.